Hey, friends. Thank you so much for tuning back in. I told you I was going to have a story for you. Ooh, this is a juicy one, y'all. I teased you a little bit about it in episode number one. This one is about when I first moved to Dallas, Texas, and some of the challenges I had fitting in with my colleagues and using criteria to decide whether I should stay or whether I should move my talent behind somewhere else, honey. And so, anyway, so I was so thrilled to accept this job. I loved my team. I loved my work. I loved the expanded responsibilities. And so I was beaming every day, which is not hard for me. I usually smile a lot because I just love life. And I refused to live this very short life with a frown on my face. And so I smiled every day and I was pleasant. And I remember some of my colleagues weren't as accepting of me because I was different in every kind of way. And they just weren't comfortable with difference. Bless their hearts. It wasn't their fault. They didn't realize how fabulous I was because I was. But anyway, that'll be a story for another day. So I was coming to work with a smile on my face, and one of the colleagues that was a little resistant to me, he pulled me in his office and he said, Melissa, we were just commenting on how much you smile and how happy you seem. And we were just all wondering how long it was going to take for us to knock that smile off your face. And he looked just that stoic when he said it. Well, that was my moment to let him see through my smile. And I said, Oh, honey, I've been through some shit in my life, and I got through it with this smile on my face. So I really doubt there's anything you're going to be able to do to knock it off. But you can try. And I smiled at him and I walked out of his office. And believe me, they absolutely tried. But I worked really hard not to give him the satisfaction. And there were so many times, though, I was frustrated and I was like, I should just quit this job. I'm never going to be able to connect with this in group. I should just bounce. And it was then I developed criteria that will help me make decisions on whether I take a job or whether I should stay in a current role. And here's my criteria. Do I have a good boss? Yep, I had a good boss. Check. Was I fulfilled? And fulfillment for me means I know I'm adding value. If I can't add value, people aren't listening to me, I'm not fulfilled. And yes, I was fulfilled. And number three, am I challenged? I was challenged because I'd expanded responsibilities. It was so much fun digging into these complex problems. So my criteria was met, which means that I was not going to leave based on some emotional reaction. I just needed to stick it out. But the fourth question I asked myself is, can I thrive here? And am I an underappreciated asset? Absolutely, I was an underappreciated asset, but I decided to stay because the criteria was all fulfilled. And I encourage you to have your own criteria to make sure that you don't leave and jump ship based on an emotional reaction and not a rational decision. Because when we get in stressful situations, our brain goes into a threat state. You've all heard of fight, flight, or freeze mode. Well, that's what happens. And we become really irrational, and it's easy for us to say, peace out. Make sure you've got some criteria that will anchor your decision so that you don't have any regrets in your career, my friends. And so I share that with you. I wish you the very best at deciding whether you should stay or whether you should go. And if you want to pick my brain on your current situation, feel free to give me a call or an email at hello@melissamajors.com. Be more than happy to help you work through it. I wish you the best, my friends. I got more stories coming, so make sure you subscribe so you can hear the scoop. Take care now.